Saffron gaze flickers to Adam for a brief moment. It's so quick, you almost miss it. That look just now. Uh-oh. Are you saying you have no information on this woman? None at all? He steps forward, and there's a faint gleam in his eye. You better lie like your life depends on it, because it does. Hello, and welcome back to You and Him. If you're new here, hi, I'm Voyia. I play a variety of games. If you ever want me to play something, please don't hesitate to ask me. With all that being said, it would mean the world to me, and I do mean this from the bottom of my heart. It would warm my heart if you considered liking, commenting, and subscribing. Comment anything. Comment, I don't know. Comment the next game you think I'm going to play. The list is long, okay? And stuff keeps getting added to it, so we never know. With all that being said, let's get started. Saffron stands beside the arched window that peers out towards the church parking lot, holding his cell phone in a tight grip. Unbeknownst to Adam, he too was called upon by God. I wonder why they call him. I mean, it's obvious that it is some weirdo person with a God complex that thinks that they are God, so he forces people to call him God. And he has gained such a following / power that he is like being crazy about it. But I wonder why he wants people to look at him as a God. Is it just like a narcissistic thing? I don't know. Sometimes you just want to peer into the psychopath's brain for a split second and then back out immediately. He was to remain out of sight until God permitted Adam to leave so he could witness the truth of the situation. Saffron overheard the conversation in the confessional. Then he watched as Adam broke down before he sped out of the lot. He witnessed everything in the exact sequence of events that God predicted would happen. Saffron didn't need to tell God anything. From the moment Saffron answered his phone, he already knew something was going on with Adam that the young man refused to share or talk about with either of them. God had called for the meeting in the efforts to allow Adam to come clean and share all the events from that day. But he hadn't. Instead, he kept quiet, keeping everything from God, while Saffron only knew Adam intended to keep you alive because he claimed you are useful to him. Saffron didn't know the full story because Adam refused to let him in. He thought God could be different. Adam respected God, so if he couldn't make Adam open up, then they have a real problem on their hands. Oh boy. It's scary, it's nerve-wracking, it's a little like, ugh, what are they going to do to Adam now that they know that Adam's lying to not just the person that can so-called control him, but the person that he so-called trusts. You know, it's, man, I hope they don't hurt Adam. I hope Adam changes his ways and stops, killing, and then he'll become even more hot. And Saffron grips on his phone, tightens. It's obvious that Adam won't be keeping his end of the deal, not with how reckless and out of control he's acting. Footsteps echo as they approach Saffron, stopping just a few feet shy from where he's standing. Saffron does not turn to face him. Doing so would be going against the strict rules that he and the other band members are required to abide by. God made... Oh, wait, hold on. So all the band members are part of this. I think watching my videos back, I think watching You and Him, I asked that question. I was like, is all the band members know what Adam is doing? And if so, how far does that extend? Like, we know Saffron knows. He's the band manager. We know that Adam is a schmiller. Is Kane a schmiller? And by the way, I found out his name. I went back and watched the series. Yeah, it's Kane, the bad person. Still don't remember the other ones. Are the rest of them just as bad as Adam? Are they out there doing the same thing? God may gaze upon you, but never you upon him. Page 132, paragraph 4 of Our Doctrine. You followed my instructions. It isn't a question. I always do what you ask of me. You know that, Father. Adam did too, and now he's straying. Am I wrong to assume that you called me here in order to help you save him? No. God hadn't taken the opportunity to cleanse Adam, but let him walk free instead. So that's the only conclusion he can come to. God hasn't just given Adam a chance to unveil all his mistakes, but for Saffron to see into the bitter truth of the matter as well. Your very existence is bringing Adam to ruin. The situation is far worse than he realized. There's no one else I can ask, and no one else who cares about that boy as much as I do. And what will you have me do? He asks as he looks down at his phone from where he received word that you were awake. You know my expectations. Save him, but remain discreet in how you go about it. That's all I ask. Saffron hears the retreating of footsteps and the closing of the door. He no longer feels God's presence, but the will of his words linger. And Saffron must obey his will or Adam truly will fall. Oh my goodness, I'm scared for Adam and me now. Dying absolutely sucks. One moment, you're trying to maim your stalker / would-be killer, and the next, you're getting shot by your aunt and falling into your aforementioned stalker's arms. Of all the faces you had to witness while killing over, it was his? Oh my God, look at Adam looking down at us. Hopefully, he's changed his mind. Oh my God. I just saw the redness in his hand and it made me look down. I promise I wasn't looking at it, but it's looking at me. Don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I know how I feel about it. I don't know how I feel about it. But yeah, hopefully he's starting to slowly change his mind and stop becoming who he is. What's even worse is that you're now staring at the same man. You watch as he carves into an apple. A shiny red strip of skin hangs from the flesh before he plucks it off and places the now peeled apple on the table beside him before grabbing another one. Are you just peeling apples? Are you peeling them for me? He hasn't noticed you observing him, so you take the opportunity to look around. The room you find yourself in seems devoid of color. There's nothing but plain white walls and flooring, while the room itself reeks of bleach and disinfectant, which is likely the reason for your pulsing headache. Sorry, I had to look down at my phone for a second. You glance back at him, the only splash of color around. He's a giant purple grape in an oversized empty fruit bowl. If only you could squish him like one. Though it's odd, now that you're giving him a closer look, why does the air around him seem so... You squint and try to concentrate to figure out what exactly seems so off about him. What does that say? I can't even see what that says. You withhold a gasp as a sharp pain sears through your head. You clutch your face with a wince. You feel like someone just swung an axe down into your skull, the pain zipping all the way down the length of your spine to the tips of your toes. To your relief, the pain doesn't last long. Almost as soon as it appears, it dissipates, like you never experienced the feeling at all. Okay, that hurt. When you peer up again, Adam's back to normal. Whatever you saw must have been a trick of the light. Brushing off the odd experience, you choose to focus on something that doesn't strain your vision, which turns out to be Adam and his presence. Did you die? Are you hallucinating? Or are you asleep? You sigh at the thought and nestle deeper into your pillows. Not Adam being my sleep paralysis demon. Or, wait, no. If I'm dead, then... You try mulling this over while rolling onto your side, but get caught up in a bunch of tubes hooked into your skin, making the transition impossible. What the? As you lift your arm to examine the IV injected into your inside of your elbow, you hear a harsh thunk come from Adam's direction. His fingers are curled around the hilt of the knife from where he just embedded it into the table, and he smirks at you. You can't help but roll your eyes at the display. Yes, Adam, you know how to stab things. Good for you. Everyone knows how intimidating you are. The words that follow are even worse. About time you joined the living. I was getting tired of waiting. Adam says and holds himself to his feet. Hello. You know, I like when you look like this. I love that his cut is showing the detail is there, and I appreciate it. A smooth movement despite how exhausted he appears, dark circles smudging beneath his darkened eyes that flash red with malice. Did his injuries keep him up at night? You sure hope they did. What? Adam demands when he sees you openly staring at him, his hands curling around the railing of your bed as he glowers down at you. Excuse me, I have to sneeze. I'm so sorry, I just sneeze. With his typical stick up the butt demeanor. You can't help but give a condescending smirk of your own. Oh, what, is the poor man just angry at the world because he's emo? Let me stop before he choked me out in here. You look like shite. Why don't you take a look in the freaking mirror? You're the one tied down to a hospital bed, not me. Unlike you, pretty boy, I don't have to worry about saving face for a bunch of fans. Too bad they can't see you now. Don't freaking call me that. What? Pretty boy? Why? Because the only good thing about you is your face? Because it sure as hell isn't your personality. That needs major adjustment. I'm sure being behind bars would fix that. Better yet, the death penalty, considering how many people you probably killed. You never know when to shut up, do you? I think I prefer you comatose. Wow. Great bedside manner you have there. Did you run around chewing out elderly patients to get your kicks when you couldn't get them from me? Or at the least, you have to assume there's another patient floating around considering the room you're tucked in. It got ER written all over it. A vein throbs at Adam's temple over your comment. What, did I hit a sore spot? You quirk your brow in challenge, and Adam jabs a finger in your direction. I've saved your butt by bringing you here, but it's clear I should have let you bleed out on the trailer floor. You should be grateful, little devil. You're still alive because of me. Oh, so you can give nicknames, but I can't. Why, I'm not surprised by the hypocrisy. Speaking of which, I wouldn't even be in this situation if it wasn't for you. You stabbed me and hunted me down. So tell me, what am I exactly thanking you for? Go on. I want to know how your egotistical brain justified this. You're in the hospital because your aunt shot you, not me. And why did she shoot me? Oh, yeah. She was intentionally aiming for you. You say, sitting up in the bed because you'd rather not spend another minute having him loom over you. You'll never let him have the advantage of acting like he's above you. You'd rather get shot again. Why don't you try to make a better case for yourself, because if you ever look into a career as a lawyer, you suck at it. Adam's lips curl in a snarl. You're defending her when she didn't give a shite about you, when you collapsed and fell unconscious. Oh, and I suppose you did? You bark out a harsh laugh. You're unreal, Adam. I understand why she did what she did. You put her into a position and made her snap. You tortured her and antagonized her and invaded her home. And you were the reason everything went down the way it did. You think you can gaslight me into believing you? That you're the better person because you brought me here and she's the actual villain? You're a joke. you think that. No, I'm alive because you're attracted to me. You're alive because I need you. Oh, you want to use me for something? Even better. And here, I thought you were trying to lead me to believe that you actually cared. You clasped your hand in mocking delight. So, what do you need me for? Sex? Information? To act like a human punching bag? Because if it is for sex, then you're gonna have a rude awakening, since I'll freaking castrate you before you ever get the chance to touch my body. I'd rather get down with a cactus. You watch as red flush creeps up his neck at your response. He's gripping the railing so hard and eyeing the cable belonging to your heart monitor for so long that you're sure he's debating on using it as a makeshift garrote to choke you out. Hey, listen, I'm so sorry, Adam, for how I've been responding and acting. I'll be a more pleasant person, just please don't do what I think you're gonna do. You don't care. You're wishing you could do the same after everything he's put you through. There's not a human alive who you hate as much as Adam. Adam says nothing as he reaches into the back pocket and tosses a handful of photos into your lap. You frown as you reach for one of the glossy photographs and realize you're staring at a picture of you on the night you entered your aunt's trailer. The lights from Saffron's reefer truck illuminates your face. You can see the building dread reflecting in your eyes as you try preparing yourself to face off with Adam. You let the photograph fall from your fingertips and you gesture towards the pictures, trying to discern why exactly he's showing you these, or the reason they were taken in the first place. What is this? Insurance, so you behave and do what I tell you. What do you mean by that? Adam says nothing as he reaches for the remote next to your bedside and clicks on the small TV hanging in the corner of the room. He brings up the news channel and a recording of the broadcast, one that shows the date after you enter your aunt's trailer. Dread fills your stomach. Uh-oh. You watch as the camera pans in on a news anchor, a woman with dark shoulder-length hair and sparkling green eyes, no doubt in her early 20s, as she addresses the audience with a somber expression. Beneath the news ticker reveals a fire broke out in a trailer park. Your heart sinks in your chest. Our leading story tonight takes place in Blue Acres, a trailer park located on the outskirts of Parkland, Arizona, where a fire broke out in the middle of the night. Sources says that the fire started through unknown means. We have Pamela currently on the scene. There's a moment of transition where another news anchor stands at the entrance of the trailer park. A worn down welcoming sign stands at her left. The woman herself wears a somber expression. So, yes, I know my aunt got shot twice, but I didn't know she was, dead. I thought she could have lived for a little bit, but she's gone now. If she wasn't gone from the gunshots, she's gone from the fire, apparently. This is Pamela coming from you live just outside of Blue Acres. According to authorities, the owner of the trailer where the fire broke out was nowhere to be found. She turns and gestures towards the burnt trees positioned at the far end of the park. While damages were kept in the minimum, the owner of the trailer where the source of the fire starts has now been deemed missing by officials. Ruth's picture pops up on the screen. Her age, name, the general information like her height, weight are listed. So maybe she's not. Maybe she got away. I don't know. I feel like she got away. If anyone has any information on Ruth Aspen's whereabouts, please contact the number listed below. The rest of her words were lost in your ears as you register what they're saying. She was alive and holding a gun the last time you saw her. So what happened after you lost consciousness? An even bigger question is why Adam, of all people, is showing you this. What? You say slowly, your hands tangling in the fabric of your blanket. Did you do to her? Adam lifts the remote and turns off the TV. What do you think I did? And when you see that smirk on his face, you know he must have killed her. While you were passed out, he killed her and then set the place ablaze before bringing you here. He wanted you to know she was dead. You bastard. You're springing out of your bed, the IV tearing out of your arm as you grip Adam by the front of his shirt. The photos drift to the floor amidst the chaos. You killed her! You killed my aunt! You try shoving him backwards, but he remains firmly in place. Rage makes you see red, and you're reaching behind you in search of anything you can throw at him and find small vase fitting with the fake potted plant. You chuck the ceramic at his head with all the pent-up rage, wanting to ruin him for what he has done. Adam dodges the attack with ease. The vase shatters against the wall, and Adam watches you with blatant detachment as you storm up to him and beat on his chest. He said she was tied to the bed, so how tied to the bed she is? Like, is he saying because of the tubes that was in her, or is she actually tied to the bed? Because it seems like she can get up and beat the crap out of you. I'm just saying, yank her IVs out. You try tearing into him, wanting him to feel just as much anguish as your aunt probably felt in her final moments, wanting to convey how awful it must have been, but unable to. She's dead. She's really dead. All because you were trying to find a place to hide, but you wound up dragging her into the entire mess, and now she's gone. To be fair, they dragged you in this mess first with the whole exchange of weapons and stuff that they had you traveling all across Arizona for. So technically they dragged you in here first. And there's not 1 ounce of regret on this man's face over it. She had nothing to do with this, and you killed her. You ignore the strain of your injuries, and your body cries of complaints as you rampage on the man who feels the need to destroy everything in his path. Your rage is white hot. It almost drowns out the guilt eating away at you. The knowledge that your presence brought on her death. It doesn't matter whether she was good or bad person. I think it does a little bit. Makes me feel less upset that she was a terrible person, but I don't think she was a terrible person. She's just a grumpy old lady. What matters is that you involved her in your outgoing feud with Adam, and she died as a result. You wanted me, so why the frig did you have to take her life instead? Hands circle your wrist as Adam restrains you and holds your balled up fist away from his body, restricting your movement like a set of manacles. He tips his head up. She did what no one should ever do. He says as he leans closer to you, his voice dipping to that dangerous octave you know so well by now. She got in my way. Jesus. I think I need to say, I'll make you pay for what you've done. I'll make you pay for what you've done. I'll make you pay for what you've done. Maybe I can't kill you, but I'll certainly do my best to make your life an absolute living nightmare. You know why, Adam? Because I know your one true weakness, and I'm going to do everything in my power to use it against you. Your words spark something behind the darkened depths of those eyes. I wouldn't expect anything less from a little freaking devil. You tear your wrist from Adam's grasp, pitting him with a glare that doesn't even begin to describe the hatred you feel for him. He's making you into the worst possible version of yourself. This man. I'm only laughing not because this is funny, but because one, I'm losing my voice, and two, it is extremely exhausting going back through the sexual sexual attention between them. Can y'all just do something about that? Never in your wildest dream did you want someone to suffer so badly. But Adam, you gladly watch this man get what's coming to him. As you take another step back, eyes roaming around the room for another projectile. Your foot makes contact with something glossy. The photos. You peer down at them. Let me take a wild guess. These are for blackmailing me, right? Proof that I was the last one seen at the place of the potential crime? Adam smirks. As I said, they're insurance. You refuse to cooperate and those pictures will get leaked to the law enforcement. It's as simple as that. What about your traces of DNA? Adam looks at his nails, unimpressed by your attempts to ruffle him. He answers your question with a response that pretty much confirms your earlier suspicions. I have people in high places. There may have been someone at the scene who scrubbed any evidence of me away. Who's to say? You were right in not reporting to the law enforcement. You thought they would have been any actual help, and you only imagined how much worse your fate would have been. They probably would have tried to pin you with some ludicrous stalking charge and attempted murder as soon as you stepped through the damn door. Still, maybe if you had, Ruth would still be alive. You ball your hands into fists, glaring at him. And if I don't care? Then we go with the second option. He closed the gap between you two, his large frame eating up your entire field of vision until he's all you can see. It's like he wants to consume your entire world, leaving just himself at the center of your focus so that no one else can take your attention away. Which sounds about right for this obsessive butthole. I've got word that you were traveling to meet someone after you stopped by your aunt's, leading me to suspect that it was likely another relative or friend, someone you're close to. There's not a lot of records on your aunt, considering she was desperate to hide herself. So much so that she married your uncle in order to change her last name to make it that much harder to find and identify her. But I did happen to find her divorce records. Adam's smile broadens into one of cold cruelty, and you stiffen at the sight. This seems to spur him on. You catch a whiff of lavender as Adam leans closer, the smell further unsettling you since you've grown used to the copper tang of blood that always seems to follow him wherever he goes. You try not to react, knowing that's what he's aiming for by invading your space like this. But you're unable to save face when he asks you his next question. How's he doing, by the way? Your uncle, I mean. Don't you dare. Wouldn't I? He barricades you between his arms, gripping the railing of the hospital bed as he cocks his head into a mocking fashion. If you don't cooperate, who knows what I might do to your uncle? I'm capable of anything. Your aunt's dead and buried because of me, so what's stopping me from taking another? Leave my uncle out of this. And how are you going to stop me, little devil? Because as I see it, you either have a choice to freaking behave, or I tie you down so you can watch as I slit his throat. So tell me, what's it gonna be? Why don't we go with option C, where I stick those photos up your... You're cut off mid-sentence as the doctor to your room swings open the door with peppered hair, in his early 30s, walks in holding a clipboard. Behind him, a familiar figure follows after. Don't say Saffron. Ugh. My God, every time I see him, he makes me sick. Emerald green eyes sweep over the scene before him. He looks like he's puzzling something out, the way he takes in the pictures on the floor and Adam's arms caging you in. Dr. Boone, could you please give us a moment alone? The doctor peers up from his clipboard, appearing surprised, his eyes taking in the IV you ripped out of your arm when you leaped out of your bed. You could see him worrying with something before finally nodding. He tucks the clipboard under his arms. Yes, of course. Please contact the nurse's station if you need anything from me, and I do mean anything. There's a look of mutual understanding between the two. Saffron gives the doctor a pleasant smile. I'm not sure that's necessary, but I appreciate the offer. Thank you, Dr. Boone. The doctor nods before leaving, paying you, the patient, no mind. Oh, cool. Just what you wanted. A doctor willing to get rid of the skeletons in Saffron's closet, one of which will no doubt be yours. Isn't friendship sweet? You shake your head with a sardonic smile. Trapped alone in a hospital room with 2 serial killers and a doctor willing to look the other way. What could go wrong? I beg your pardon? It's nothing. And you can drop the prim and proper act, considering I know that you and Mr. Obsessed and Repressed are working in cahoots. I'm afraid I don't understand what you mean. This is how I always conduct myself. So he's just creepy all the time. Adam draws away from you, eyes never leaving Saffron. What are you doing here? Consider they'll be under the guise of working with me as Cake's social media manager. I figured it was best if I came. Say what now? Social media manager? What are you talking about? I was informed that you're well equipped in navigating social media and handling content as well as taking photo ops and the likes because of what you do for a living. Since you'll help Adam for the foreseeable future, we need a plausible reason for you to spend time with him. As such, you'll help Adam while under the guise of working to create our social media. Great. So now I've got a job I didn't even want. Okay, but that doesn't answer what Adam really needs me for. That picture I showed you, do you remember it? Yeah. Kind of hard to forget when he shoved it in your face and demanded details on what you knew about the woman in the photo. I'm looking for one of the women in it. You mean the one with the curly brown hair who looks like you? Adam's gaze narrows and his jaw ticks. No. I'm searching for the woman standing next to your aunt. The one with the blonde hair. And what does she have to do with me? You're one of the few people alive connected to Ruth. And because of that, you're one of the only leads I have finding this woman. What? So you expect that she told me about her personal life and I'll know something about the woman you're looking for? Saffron gaze flickers to Adam for a brief moment. It's so quick, you almost miss it. That look just now. Uh-oh. Are you saying you have no information on this woman? None at all? He steps forward and there's a faint gleam in his eye. You better lie like your life depends on it, 'cause it does. Like a wolf that's just seen an injured rabbit, ready to go in for the kill. It's clear as day what he's thinking. Adam can sense it too by the way he stiffens. Don't. He maneuvers his body so that he's practically standing in front of you, almost acting like a shield. Never in your life did you think that the man that stabbed you and hunted you down would act as the protector presence. Look, like I said before, Adam is scary, but Saffron is terrifying in so many ways. But here you are, alive to witness it. Or maybe this is more of a this is my prey sort of ordeal. Adam dances between hot and cold half the time, to the point where we're pretty sure even he's confused on what he wants. Not to mention that he literally just threatened to kill your uncle. But at least you're no longer face to face with hungry eyes over there. I'm telling y'all, Saffron is scary. I don't know. Like, I get it. A lot of people are like, oh my God, Saffron is cute too and stuff. And I'm like, he is. He just eat people and it's scary. You're taking your wins where you can get them at this point. I'm simply asking a question, and all I desire is an answer. I would assume inquiries are needed if we're to see if they'll provide any use. Otherwise, what's the point of letting them linger? They'll provide use. How can you be certain when they haven't even confirmed whether or not they know anything? You put a lot of stock into them, Adam, and I'm beginning to question the real reason as to why you are insistent on keeping them around. Listen, at this point, you in the game, lie. Just, yeah, I know who that is. I know where she is. And then tell them that, oh, she lives in Toluca, Kentucky. I don't even know if that's a real place, okay? But like Toluca in Kentucky, she's went there. She's isolated. She lives in the desert area of that part. Or come up with a real place, because they might actually go research that. And be like, yeah, oh, she lives in Georgia, and like isolated from everybody. And just as they're trying to find this lady, try to figure out a way to hit the boots and get, because they're gonna kill you. They're gonna get you. The room goes silent. You can practically feel Adam eyeing the knife he wedged into the table. No, great. Is there going to be a bloodshed between these two? Because if that's the case, you don't want any part of it and would like to get off this ride, thanks. Maybe you should bail while they're distracted? Nah. Is that the door behind you? Behind them? I'ma save. Because the last thing I need is to try to get out of here and then I get snatched up real quick. Let's see. Stay here. Leaving is a bad idea for a number of reasons, or bail. Surely no one will notice. Of course, let's try to bail, but while the two men are locked in battle of wills, you inch towards the door. Oh God. You've got a small window of opportunity until one of them notices. This might be your only chance to get away again. All you need to do is stay quiet before booking it once you're out of the room. She better be right. I promise you, she better be right. Then you could try and go from there. Easy peasy, right? Your hand inches towards the handle, your heart thumping as your fingers wrap around the cold knob, waiting for Saffron or Adam to glance over and catch you before you even got a head start. When neither of them notice, you inch open the door. It's a tedious and anxiety-inducing task, your hands sweating with perspiration. You got the door open a quarter of the way before you peek into the congested hallway. Did we really just make it out of here? Heck yeah! Of course. We're not gonna knock our blessings. Let's keep going. Outside, there's nurses and doctors bustling past alongside patients who are either strapped to gurneys or are following nurses towards their designated rooms. Sorry, my phone was ringing. A woman lying on one of the gurneys has multiple stab wounds in her chest. The front of her shirt is torn and red blooms alongside faded white material. The stains faded out from her injuries like a stamina on a spider lily. Jesus. Her unfocused gaze drifts towards you, her eyes glossy. You can't move. You've forgotten your original intentions for opening the door, because looking at this woman, oh my God, my computer scared the crap out of me. 1 second. You're reminded of your Aunt Ruth and no doubt the torture she likely endured because of Adam. Did she suffer like this, lying on the cold, hard floor of her trailer, pleading for help while they lay unconscious and unaware of what was happening to her? Adam's words trickle through your mind. How are you going to stop me, little devil? Because as I see it, you either have a choice to freaking behave, or I tie you down so you can watch as I slit his throat. How could you forget? If you leave now without any sort of plan, your uncle faces the same fate your aunt did. You could call him and try to warn him, but knowing Adam and his relentless nature, he'll burn the entire world down in order to get what he wants. You want to escape this man, but you can't right now. Frustration wells inside of you, and you can feel something crack. The start of the fissure beginning to spread. With the added pressure of the knowledge I so when I read these stories, I get into character. I'm reading it, but I just had like a weird tinge of uncomfortable in my stomach reading this, that it like made me like, oh god, I could not imagine being in this situation, because there's two ways out of it. If you don't know the two ways, you've never been put in a dangerous situation, but there's two ways out of it. You gotta fight like hell, or you gotta absolutely positively just take yourself out at this point. If he ain't got no leads, he ain't got no leads. It's okay. I can't do. You're jerked backwards as a knife embeds itself into the wall in front of you. You slowly turn to meet Adam's gaze, his eyes flashing red with barely concealed anger as he lowers his throwing arm. Where the frick do you think you're going? It's a simple question, one you usually respond to with sarcasm, but you can't seem to find your voice. Your eyes travel back towards the knife. It's the same one that killed Ruth, the same one that he'll use to kill your uncle if you choose to escape. You grip your head with one hand. You're trying to catch your breath, but all you can imagine is the blood of your family coating that blade. You a question. I'm assuming I asked you a question. A familiar hand grips your shoulder and you slap it away, your eyes landing on Adam, whose eyes fly wide with surprise at your visceral response. Keep your freaking hands off of me. Adam's jaws tick as he jerks the knife from where he threw it before slamming his hand over your head, shutting the door in the process. Then don't try to freaking leave. You already know what will happen if you do. I'm more than aware. You hiss under your breath, earning one more glance from Adam before he turns to face Saffron, who watches the two of you with quiet interest. Now, what I want to know, he says, leaving his knife in Saffron's direction, forcing the conversation back on topic. So now I want to know what would happen if I just sat there and just listened to them. Maybe they would go back and forth and I would get some information, which is something I kind of want to do. So I'm going to go back real quick and I'm going to try it the other way. So I'm going to stay this time. I thought I would get a bad ending, but I guess I didn't get the bad ending. For one, you're still injured and recovering. 2, Adam just threatened your uncle and you don't want to put another one of your relatives in harm's way again. 3, Saffron is pals with one of the doctors here, and that same doctor essentially hinted at doing anything Saffron asked of him, which probably includes murder. And last but not least, reason number 4, the strangest of them all, Adam, is no longer a physical threat to you. While it's clear he wants to kill you, what happened in the trailer proved he can't. He wants you physically. Okay. So they went a whole different route. Like, this man wants these double chocolate chip booty cheeks. He absolutely positively wants it. And every time he gets that every time he gets that thought like, oh, I'm about to take her out, I'm gonna rub my finger between my lips and across his lip, and like absolutely he's gonna be hypnotized again. So it's fine. It's cool. And because of that desire, no doubt birthed from the kiss you planted on him, he's intent on keeping you away from Saffron, who poses a threat to your life. That much you're certain of. So for the time being, it's best to take all of the above into account and stay where you are. This is the perfect moment in time to rest and then plan ahead. When Adam speaks after a long pause, so before I finish this sentence, I want to say, if it was me, personally, I would have absolutely positively stayed. There's just too many factors that's happening right now. Not to mention, I probably hurt myself more pulling out, the tube out of my arm or the IV out of my arm or whatever. I would have been injured. I would have been hurt. And a whole bunch of stuff could have happened. So, me personally, I would have stayed. When Adam speaks after a long pause, his voice takes on a familiar threat and quality. Only, it's not directed at you this time. What I want to know, Adam says, his voice dripping with acid, is why you're so hell-bent on questioning me when I already explained everything to you earlier. You and I both know that just because they don't remember anything right now doesn't mean they won't prove useful or remember something later down the line. And because of that, I'm not letting you freaking touch them. They're my only lead to getting my answers. If that's the case, then couldn't you say the same about the man Ruth was formerly married to? I'd say he'd know far more than they do. Which leads me to my other freaking point. He jerks his thumb over his shoulder in your direction. Even on the off chance they can't recall anything, they can still provide an opportunity for me to speak with their uncle or any other possible family member who might know more about Ruth's past. Yes, I could cut my losses and torture the fricker. But if there's any chance he's anything like Ruth, he'll die and I'll wind back up at square one. If I go about it this way, there's less chance of me to lose the lead I already have, and I can utilize them as a means of getting their family to open up about what they know. So he's just basically saying, even if I can't use them for information, I could simply, easily, possibly take them and use them as a hostage situation. But he's working on the premise that my family likes me enough to deal with a hostage situation. You might call them and be like, I have your niece. If you don't tell me the information I need, I'm going to slit her, or whatever. And they'd be like, kill the bee and hang up. You're working on the premise that her family likes her. You of all people should know how important connections are. So there. Is that good enough freaking reason as to why I'm keeping them alive? Or are you going to ask more stupid freaking questions? There's a moment of silence, and despite Adam standing between the two of you, you can still feel Saffron's ravenous gaze. Oh my God, look at how he's looking at me. When he said that, I looked up at Saffron, and I'm just like, ugh. He does make my skin crawl. By the way, your skin crawls. I didn't read forward. Your suspicions are confirmed when you peer around Adam and are greeted by emerald eyes staring straight at you. Oh my goodness. You resist the urge to curl your lip in repulsion. Saffron's looking at you like a piece of decadent cake placed on a shelf that's just out of reach. You know some people think you're a snack. Saffron's look, you thinking like, oh, again, double chocolate chip booty cheeks is a snack. He's looking at you like, I'm gonna slice your arm off and I'm gonna cook it. Saffron's taking it way too far. Adam noticed the same thing because he shifts so that you're out of the other man's line of sight. It's subtle, but Saffron's eyes narrow as he forced to focus on Adam again. I see, he says at last. There's something off about how he says it too. Like he's starting to piece together a puzzle he couldn't figure out before, and now it's all coming together thanks to that one gesture. You feel like Adam just started a catalyst. You're not sure for what quite yet, but you know something has changed, and you're afraid of the consequences that will follow. If that's all, then leave. As I've stated before, I came here to explain what they'll be doing under my leadership. And we're in that sentence, Adam says as he eats up the distance between him and Saffron. Oh my God, in 3 quick strides. Whew. Adam, please don't do this. Not while I'm standing here. Do it another time. Did I ask? I was making a statement, a command, not a request. Leave. Now. Saffron sighs, like he's dealing with a teenager demanding his father to get out of his room rather than someone who could potentially murder him. Very well. But Adam? He doesn't wait for the singer to respond as he clamps a hand down on his shoulder. I think you're forgetting one important detail, and I think it's best I remind you of that now before you forget. Ooh. Oh my goodness. His next words are muted as he whispers something in Adam's ear. Whatever he says makes Adam go rigid. His hands ball into a fist, and the veins in his arms pop out as he restrains himself. What did you say to him? No doubt itching to lash out in the most violent way possible. You're surprised he doesn't. I'm a little surprised of how little leeway he's been given Adam, considering that his commands came from the higher above, their higher above. So it's a little interesting. And while you can't make out what Saffron's saying, you're sure it's got something to do with you by the way Saffron refuses to break eye contact. You want to look away, but then Saffron's lips begin to tug up at the corners. Saffron's cute. I'm mocking everybody that says that. Saffron's cute. Yeah? This is cute? That sentence is cute? This is hot? Y'all tell me in the comment section. Out yourselves. Because there's no judgment, but I'm judging a little bit. I'm not judging. I'm judging. I'm not judging. And a slow, eerie smile begins to split his face apart. You forget how to breathe. The entire world's still, and you feel like you just hopped onto the set of some horror movie. Okay, here we go. You get the insane urge to grab the metal chair Adam was sitting in earlier and beat the ever-loving shite out of Saffron with it until he crumbles to the floor. You don't care if your stitches break in the process. This evil needs to go. You've seen enough horror movies to know how this ends. You've got to exorcise this guy real quick, unless you want your decapitated head acting as a centerpiece for a table spread made from your severed limbs. You need to wait until a later date, though. You've got other things to prioritize first, like ensuring your uncle's safety. Then you could take care of the big bad. Not today, Cannibal Lecter. Not today. Saffron seems to acknowledge this as well because he's drawn away from Adam, his sinister smile replaced by his usual polite disposition. Disgusting. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have other matters to attend to. Please take care. Adam remains quiet as Saffron brushes past him. He doesn't even react when the door closes behind his manager with a soft click, leaving the two of you alone. He's so still, you wonder if he's even breathing. I'm gonna say, so when they say poke, right, do they mean like physically or like, did you get a little choked up? You've got to, because at least you know what you're in for when he's annoyed. Why, yes, Adam, that floor is looking very florid today. Lo and behold, the comment works. Adam shifts his head, his eyebrows furrowing into an angry V. Do you ever shut the frick up? No, not at all. There's the butthole we all know and would like to run over with a truck. Now, are you done brooding over your short little ASMR session with Saffron? Or are you going to continue standing there? Because I would like to take a nap if you don't mind. There's nothing stopping you from sleeping. Oh yes, because I can totally sleep knowing there's a stab-happy man in the same room as me. You give him a pointed look. Adam's jaw ticks. I'm not leaving this room. Well, then, sit down so I don't feel like Nosferatu is looming over me. Some of y'all too young for that. Some of y'all too young. Y'all don't even know who Nosferatu is. Unless you watch SpongeBob, then you probably do. I'm not a vampire. Oh, but you look it. The inverted cross, your dark purple aesthetic, and let's not forget your gloomy, nobody understands me attitude. Really reads like you were ripped out of some shady Breaking Braun fanfic. Isn't there like a show called Breaking Dawn? I don't know. You yawn as you slip back into your bed, leaning back against a swath of pillows, the strain on your body finally registering. Geez. Shot and then stabbed within days of each other. It's a wonder how you survived everything. Either way, at least you can rest in an actual bed now instead of the front seat of your car. Despite your claims about struggling with sleep with Adam in the same room, you're close to passing out when the singer speaks. Hey, you groan, not even bothering to open your eyes. What now? Didn't I make it clear that I'm trying to sleep? Just listen, it's important. Adam pauses and you hear the sound of him picking something up. Whatever you do, don't let yourself get caught in a situation where you're alone with Saffron. Understand? His words are harsh, but there's something else too. If you were dumber, you'd mistake it for a genuine worry. But this is Adam you're talking about. You crack open the eyelid to discover he resumed peeling the apple he started in on earlier. Do I look like I have a death wish? Yes or no? It's a simple question. Yes. Happy? Adam doesn't respond, his eyes boring into yours as he searches for a lie within your response. Is this guy serious right now? He's starting to make your head hurt again. Would you like to hear how much I'd prefer chewing off my own foot before sitting alone in a room with that guy? Or do you really think I'm that stupid? You tell me. I just did. Well, I'm just freaking asking because a small condescending smirk tugs at his mouth. This is the first time you and I have ever seen eye to eye on something. Little devil. Saffron. I think I'm gonna stop it right here. Thank you guys so much. I truly appreciate it. This was interesting. I am doing this in parts because why not? But if you're enjoying, thank you so much. I appreciate you being here. Peace and love. Stay safe out there, everybody. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and come back for the next episode. Make sure you put the notification bell as well, and come back for the next episode. Peace and love. Stay safe out there, everybody. Bye-bye.